Think about your day so far. You checked your email on your phone, you shared a file with a colleague, maybe you're planning to stream a movie tonight. You're using all these powerful apps, accessing huge amounts of data, but almost none of it is actually stored on your device. So, where is it all?
Right. That invisible, powerful force is what we call the cloud. It's a technology that has completely reshaped our world, but for a lot of people it's still this fuzzy, abstract idea. Our goal today? We're going to pull back the curtain and make the cloud crystal clear.
Okay, so let's just get right into it. What is the cloud, really? I mean, when we say the cloud, we're obviously not talking about something floating up in the sky. We're talking about a massive shift in how we think about, access, and use computing power itself.
Now, if you want to get official, here's the definition from the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST. I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, right? But let's just zero in on the key words here: on-demand, shared pool, and minimal management. In simple terms, it's all about getting the exact computing power you need right when you need it without having to go out and build your own data center.
So what actually makes a service a true cloud service? It's not just about being on the internet. A real cloud service has these 5 essential traits. It means you can get resources yourself without talking to anyone. You can access them from anywhere on any device. The provider pools resources to serve lots of customers. You can scale up or down in an instant. We call that elasticity. And you only pay for what you actually use. These 5 things, they're the absolute bedrock of cloud computing.
Okay, so understanding those characteristics is great, but how do we, actually use the cloud? Well, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Think of it like a menu with different levels of service, depending on how much you want to control yourself versus how much you want someone else to manage for you.
One of the best ways to get this is the famous pizza as a service analogy. Think about it. Software as a service, or SaaS, is like going out to a restaurant. You just show up and eat. They handle everything. Platform as a service, or PaaS, is like getting pizza delivered. They make the pie, but you provide the plates and the soda. And then there's infrastructure as a service, or IaaS. That's like a take-and-bake pizza. They give you the ingredients, but you have to use your own oven. See? Each step gives you more control, but also more to do.
And this table here, it just makes that division of labor super clear. With SaaS, think of your email. You just worry about your data. With PaaS, you build your own apps and manage your data, but the provider handles the underlying operating system and hardware. And with IaaS, you're in charge of almost everything: the operating system, apps, data, while the provider just manages the raw physical hardware. It's all about picking the model that's the right fit for you.
All right, so we know what the cloud is and the different services it offers. But where does this stuff actually live? That question brings us to the different ways you can deploy the cloud.
There are basically 4 main flavors. You've got the public cloud, which is what most of us think of, those giant providers offering services to anyone online. Then there's the private cloud, which is infrastructure dedicated to just one single organization, giving them way more control. A hybrid cloud, like the name says, is a mix of both. It lets you keep your really sensitive stuff private while using the power of the public cloud for everything else. And finally, there's a community cloud, which is shared by a few organizations that have similar goals, like a group of hospitals or universities.
So now, let's go under the hood. Let's head down to the engine room and see how all this stuff actually works. I mean, how is it possible for one single physical server to act like dozens of separate servers for all these different customers? What's the magic trick that makes it all happen?
The answer, the absolute #1 core concept, is virtualization. It's the secret sauce. Virtualization is all about creating a software-based or virtual version of something physical, like a computer server or a storage drive. This is what lets cloud providers take their massive physical hardware and slice it up into countless virtual resources for all of us to use.
And the way we do virtualization has evolved, which is really cool. We started with what are called virtual machines, or VMs. The easiest way to think of a VM is as a full-on computer, but made of software. It has its own complete operating system, which makes it super isolated, but also kind of bulky and slow to start. The newer, leaner way is with containers. Containers are way more efficient. They don't need a whole operating system. They just bundle an application with the bare minimum it needs to run. That makes them incredibly light, super fast, and easy to move around.
And honestly, this big shift from those heavy VMs to these nimble little containers is really what powers the entire modern cloud. If you've heard of tools like Docker for building containers and Kubernetes for managing thousands of them at once, well, these are the technologies that have become the absolute standard for building apps today.
But you know what? The story doesn't stop in some giant centralized data center. The very idea of the cloud is changing. It's expanding. It's moving from being a single place to being a distributed continuum that stretches all the way out to the devices we hold in our hands.
For a long time, we thought of the cloud as this distant place, right? These massive, remote data centers. All of our data had to make this long journey from our phones or laptops all the way to this central brain to get processed and then all the way back again.
And then the Internet of Things happened, and it changed everything. All of a sudden, we didn't just have phones and computers. We had billions of smart devices, sensors, cameras, cars, watches, all generating insane amounts of data every single second. Sending all of that data back to one central cloud just wasn't going to cut it. It was too slow and too inefficient.
So the Internet of Things, or IoT, is this huge web of connected, well, things. And for many of them, speed is critical. Think about a self-driving car. It can't afford to wait for a signal to travel hundreds of miles to a data center and back just to decide whether or not to hit the brakes. It has to make that decision in a fraction of a second.
So this massive new challenge forced a totally new way of thinking. The solution was to flip the model on its head. We needed to push the computing power out from that central cloud and move it much, much closer to where the data was actually being created, out to the edge of the network.
And that's exactly what edge computing is. It's about doing the processing right there on the spot. So instead of a security camera streaming hours of video to the cloud, it can analyze the video locally and only send an alert when it actually detects an intruder. It's faster, it's more private, and it saves a ton of bandwidth.
Now, sitting in between that central cloud and the tiny devices on the edge is another layer called fog computing. Think of it like a middle manager. If the edge is the device itself, the fog is the local network gear, like a powerful router or a small server in a factory. It's got more muscle than the edge device, but it's way closer than the main cloud, acting as this crucial intermediary.
This image really shows you the new reality. It's not the cloud versus the edge, it's a single seamless continuum. The big central cloud is still there for massive storage and heavy-duty processing, but the fog and edge layers handle all the urgent, real-time stuff. They all have to work together perfectly.
So if there's one big thing to take away from all this, is that we're moving past a world where computing happens in one central place. That power is now being distributed all across the network, from the massive data center all the way down to the phone in your pocket. The future of computing doesn't have a single address. It's this intelligent, seamless fabric that stretches from the cloud, through the fog, right down to the billions of connected things that are starting to populate our world.
You know, this shift really changes everything. How we build our apps, how we think about our data, our privacy. Computing is becoming truly ubiquitous, weaving itself into every part of our lives. So the real question isn't, what is the cloud anymore? It's as this power becomes available everywhere, how are we going to harness it?